This chocolate cake will leave you speechless after eating your first bite. This cake is moist, rich, and chocolatey. It is not the easiest one I have made, but is definitely worth of trying. I would highly recommend to measure all your ingredients before you will start baking. It will save you a lot of headache. Start with lining your sheet pan with parchment paper. I am using here double boiler, which means pot with water with glass bowl over. When the water will start boiling, I set the heat on low-medium. Add 80 grams of unsalted butter, 120 grams dark chocolate. I would recommend to have quality dark chocolate, and 20 grams of heavy whipping cream. Start melting while stirring. And when your chocolate is melted about halfway, turn off the heat and let the warmth of the steam melt your chocolate all the way. I do have induction stovetop. That's why I can push away the hot pot and put towel with cooling chocolate right over the burner. It's up to you what will you do first, egg whites or egg yolks. I wanted to save on dishes, so I started with egg whites. Crack your eggs and separate egg whites from egg yolks and whip into stiff peaks. Then I transfer the egg whites into different bowls so I can reuse this bowl. When you're whipping egg whites, remember your bowl and whisk have to be squeaky clean, no grease. That way you can get into stiff peaks. Now off to beating my egg yolks. I am reusing my bowl and whisk from the egg whites. I will add 6 egg yolks and 110 grams of sugar, and I will beat both together into very fluffy, light foam. I also will add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can see the color changed and the foam is fluffy. Here I have all my ingredients for the next step, and I will move into the hand whisking. Sift dark cocoa powder, about 2 tablespoons, into your foamy eggs and stir well. Sifting powder ingredients prevent lumps in the batter. Add a pinch of salt and stir again. The melted chocolate should be cool by now. You do not want to put hot chocolate into your batter, otherwise your batter will get flat. Pour your hot chocolate in small doses while whisking your batter and stir well till all of your chocolate is incorporated with your egg batter. It's time to gently fold your egg whites into your cake batter. Divide your egg whites into thirds and gently fold to not break too many air bubbles. You need to have airy, foamy batter for this cake, not flat pancake. It's time to pour your cake batter onto medium size. I am using 11x15 sheet pan lined with parchment paper. Spread your batter the best way you can. Don't forget the corners and edges. Bake in preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes, but remember, Every oven bakes a different way, you just need to keep eye on your cake. After baking, set your cake on the rack and let it cool down completely. Frosting is divided into a couple easy steps as well. Let's start with heating heavy cream, not boiling, in a saucepan. Whisk in cocoa powder. This will help you to make the cocoa powder smooth and not lumpy. Again, go back to our double boiler. Put chocolate, butter into double boiler and melt. Add your cocoa cream mix and slowly whisk into your melted chocolate. Make sure to not overcook your chocolate. Like in the cake batter, turn off your chocolate halfway through and let the steam finish melting your chocolate. Let chocolate cool, ideally into room temperature. If you will combine whipped cream with hot chocolate cream, your whipped cream will melt and make the whole frosting runny mess. Don't ask me how I know. Now I am ready to whip my cream. Always use cold cream for whipping. Whip your cream till stiff peaks, but don't over whip because you do not want to make a butter out of your whipping cream. When your chocolate is room temperature, whisk together by hand with whipping cream. Add chocolate in small portions. Put your finished frosting in the fridge for about 15 minutes to rest. Let's get ready our sponge to be frosted. I like to use pizza cutter to cut edges all around my sponge, and then I take my tape measure to try to figure it out thirds to cut lengthwise and then split in half. The easiest way to frost your cake is with piping bag with flat tip if you have. If not, you can just cut corner from your Ziploc bag. Start with clean parchment paper, put bottom piece of the cake layer and make a thin layer of your frosting. Don't do too thick layers, otherwise your cake will be unstable and you are not going to have enough frosting to put frosting all over your cake. When you get to your last layer of cake, make a thin layer of frosting and smooth the frosting all around your cake in light layer, which will look a little bit like a crumb coat. Put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes so we can put thicker layer of frosting all over the cake and make it smooth. Pull the parchment paper up to the sides of the cake, which helps me shape the cake since the frosting is very soft before I put it in the freezer. After I take it out from the freezer, I make the final coat of frosting and make it as smooth as possible. When you're finished, put your cake in the fridge, ideally overnight, or at least 3 hours for the frosting to set and not be soft anymore. You can be done with your cake here and just sprinkle cocoa over the top, or you can do mirror glaze which is a beast. Chocolate mirror glaze is the most stunning of all cake glazes. Made with simple mixture of cocoa, cream, sugar, water and gelatin. Start with blooming gelatin. Mix gelatin about 2 teaspoons into warm 2 tablespoons of water. Mix it together and leave it for about 5 minutes. The gelatin crystals will absorb the water. In another bowl, stir together 70 grams of water and 35 grams of cocoa. Your cocoa will create very thick paste. Bring sugar and heavy cream to boil over medium heat. Stir until the sugar dissolves. Do not overcook, just let it bubble for a second or two. When your sugar and cream is bubbling for a little bit, turn off the heat and add the bloomed gelatin. The warmth of the liquid will melt the gelatin and it will dissolve. After your gelatin is dissolved, add your cocoa paste and stir till it's all dissolved in a smooth liquid. If you're having a hard time dissolving your cocoa paste, turn your heat on very low. Remove the pot from the heat and strain the glaze mixture through a mesh strainer over a heat-proof bowl to remove any clumps or undissolved cocoa powder. Here comes the tricky part. Your glaze has to be 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Leave your glaze to cool on the counter for about 1 hour. The glaze covers the cake smoothly without drips. It won't melt the ganache and it will set into 2 to 3 millimeter layer. The perfect thickness for a mirror glaze. If your glaze is too hot, it will melt all your frosting away. Put your cake back in the fridge for about an hour and your mirror glaze will set. After that, you are ready to serve your cake. I hope you enjoyed this video and please let me know if you are going to try it and your observations. Dobrou chuť and until next time, bye!